Hello and welcome to Journeys in Transformation Analytics. I'm Amaresh Tripathy. I run the analytics business at Genpact. And with me today, I have Kiran Mysore, who is the former Vice President of Operational Analytics and Insights at Medtronic. Welcome, Kiran.
Thank you, Amish.
And we are here to continue to talk about a topic of economics of decision making. And last time we kind of identified there are four levers like around data discovery, data ingestion, data management, and data consumption, which drive a fairly big amount of an IT spend, like 15% of an IT spend, which is driven towards analytics. And so Kiran and I want to explore the first one of them around data discovery and how do you manage the data discovery costs and as well as cloud is a lever in that whole journey. So Kiran, one of the things we found in the research was 5 to 8% of the IT spend is just spent on data discovery. And with everything that's going on the cloud ecosystem around that, potentially could be a lever to manage your costs a little bit better. What's been your experience in terms of identifying use cases and figuring out how you manage the cost of your discovery of data?
Sure, Amrish, and it's a really important topic. One thing when you think about making decisions, today's decisions are not really made with one set of data, right? It's made with a lot of different inputs. Decisions are made with a lot of inputs, and it's important to start to really think about connecting data amongst many different subject areas. And so when you start to connect this data together, the cost of integration can be very high. And sometimes it might take too long. Yeah, a lot of times that time is a deterrent to making a decision. How many of your stakeholders have told you, just dump it in a spreadsheet and forget the data lake. I just want to get my answers now. So this is a real problem, and the nature of the data too is getting to be more real time and a lot more detailed at a granular level. You want very lower level detail of data. And the data might actually come from different data sources from outside the company and from other legacy sources. And the form of the data might be different as well. So with all of these in mind, the importance of connecting data cannot be overemphasized. And what we found is that a cloud approach really lowers your cost. And if it's done right, cloud provides you with the right level of tools and the right level of privacy, and also ensures agility and can really help you bring down the cost of decision making overall.
And in your experience, Kiran, uh, from a discovery aspect of it, what's the role that a third-party data has been playing? I mean, more and more kind of the discovery aspect has been kind of focused on internal data sets, right? And now that when you're finding with, especially with COVID, more and more data that is relevant or more data that is relevant actually doesn't exist inside the organization, it's outside. So how have you approached the data discovery outside your four walls of your organizations?
And you're right, Amrish. Data coming from the outside is becoming even more relevant, especially in COVID times when you have to make decisions with a lot of external input. One of the things we're also seeing is, as an example in supply chain, is that suppliers want to share inventory positions, and so that is external data, and you have to sort of incorporate that internally. So as you think about using different techniques and technologies, I mean, cloud allows you to sort of connect for the data in rest to be able to bring the most key insights that are required and also share those insights externally as well. And the trends we're seeing is that the role of external data is more important now than ever before.
And have you seen any best practices in kind of going after organizing that data? I mean, or is it use case by use case?
It depends. A lot of times, if it is publicly available information, for example, the COVID data, there are many external stakeholders that have actually orchestrated that data really well, and they've built some great capabilities into which you can tap in straight away. So that's a great use case, many models like the one from Johns Hopkins have really helped you sort of put that epidemiological model together to really make it real for your business. So that's one example. And there are many other best practices. Again, it depends on the industry you're in, the functional use case that you're driving as well.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, which is in some ways there's more and more data and as you go to external data, more and more needs to get explored, and whether shared with your partners within your transaction systems, and unless you have a scalable way and approach managing this cost, that itself just could kind of, I mean, it's 5 to 8%, but I mean that doesn't take into account all the other things that we just talked about. Probably it could be a lot more if you don't manage it well. But Kiran, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this topic, and we'll continue the conversation on subsequent trends in later episodes.
It's my pleasure, Amaresh.